Welcome to the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed that last video, the whole entire Post Malone concert. If you didn't, I'm gonna include it right here. Be sure to check it out. It was an amazing concert. He put on a hell of a performance. But back to my usual kind of videos. In this video, I want to show you exactly how it went from this to this in 3 years, and how you can do it too if you implement these steps and take action. Let's get it. Alright, so this is gonna be on the go post Malone concert. So the number one stage in self-improvement is self-improving your looks. Alright, so the number one step in self-improvement, like I said, is improving your looks. Now, obviously the best thing that you can do is leveling up your physique, leveling up your body. The only downside is that's gonna take years and years to see the benefits from. If you need help with that, fill out my intake form located in my Instagram, and I'll be in touch. But if you want something that could remedy the situation even quicker than spending years in the gym, leveling up your physique, leveling up your mind, hardening it that way, it's fixing your teeth. And that's why I'm going to the orthodontist and getting my routine dental cleaning. For the record, I'm gonna hang that up eventually, but it's not today. But the reason that I say you should fix your smile as rule number one is whenever you're meeting somebody, it could be a girl or honestly just any person in general, the number one thing that they always see from you is if you're engaging them with a nice smile. See right there? That looks appealing. That looks like, hey, I can speak to the person. If it's either to attract a mate or just attract friends or people in general, that's the number one thing in my opinion. And that's why I went super hard on getting my teeth and my smile and my mouth fixed, because not only did it fix that, but it also improved my confidence and improved me wanting to speak to people and get out of my comfort zone. So that's step number one, improve your smile. You know what? Excuse the mess. We got back like at 1 in the morning from that concert. Obviously, I've been in and out, got some Starbucks, but fuck it, I'm gonna clean up in a second. Don't judge me by that. But like I was gonna say, for the record, I've always, since I was a young kid, hated the dentist. But like I always say in my videos, you need to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's when growth happens. That's when change occurs. Obviously, there's been a change occurring with the teeth. But going along that path, that subsequent message, I've always been somebody who's been high agency, and that pretty much means you've been very independent growing up. There's this story, I'm gonna say this while I take my shoes off because I'm gonna hurry, but there's a story about this German commander during World War II. Very famous photo. And excuse the voice, kind of lost it over there at the concert. But there's this very famous photo, and it's of all these colonels, all these soldiers saluting Hitler. And there's this one guy, one person in the crowd, and he has his hands like this. Now there's a lot of speculation on who it was, if it was this German guy or somebody else, but one theory is it was this German scientist who had a Jewish wife. And because of his Jewish wife, and because of the high agency, his own self-thinking, he didn't want to salute Hitler because of obviously everything that he stood for. And this kind of has a sad story if this is the case, but apparently he was caught and found and sent to a concentration camp and eventually wound up dying. But the whole point of that story is, even in that kind of circumstance, all that adversity, all that hatred, he still had that self-agency, he still had that a mind for himself. And if you find yourself in that certain circumstance, having a mind for yourself and looking around, people are not doing what you're doing, you're the outlier, you're thinking for yourself, you're acting for yourself, that's a positive sign that you're ready for self-improvement. So the whole expression leaving the nest is extremely true. Like I say in my previous videos, I hammer this in all the time. I was 25 years old when I finally decided to move out. And it was one of the hardest parts of my life, that whole 25 to 26 years old. I just tried to figure out how to maneuver life as an adult, as somebody who had that self-agency. And what comes with that is more responsibilities, more demands. And you become overwhelmed with those demands. It tends to bleed into all aspects of your life. So the quicker you're able to do that as, say, an 18 to 20 year old, and the quicker you're able to go through that stage of having those responsibilities, those demands, and if you're able to overcome those responsibilities, overcome those demands in a calm and effective manner, more power to you. But for me, it was a giant struggle. But speaking to you right now today, I fully caught a grasp on all those responsibilities, all those duties, and I'm able to navigate everything because I took those active and comfortable steps because of my self-agency. So if you find yourself stuck at home, wanting out, you can do what I say in one of my other videos, as in join the military, or you take a different route, either go to college or a more obscure route. You can find one of these jobs, one of these vocations that pays you enough to sustain your living expenses. Now, me personally, I used 6 months of my working life and then figured out how much I made in those 6 months, and then I calculated to see how much can I afford with those 6 months. And then I figured out the number, got an apartment, story goes from there. So you can do what I did, as in get a job, pays you a nice salary, or join the military, or go to college. But the most important thing is to move out as quickly as possible and leave your comfort zone, leave that safety nest, because that's when you start improving in life. Move out. All right, and the last and most important part of self-improvement, building new skills. Now, use myself as a case study. If you look at the videos now and compare them from when I first started, it's a night and day difference. I've learned new skills, I've researched new skills, and I've implemented those skills in my videos. So my mission for you is, if you're not actively learning new skills, if you're not actively searching for new skills or building on new skills, I recommend you find something that you're passionate about, something that you could devote endless amount of time to, whether it's working out, learning photography, cooking, and delve deep into that passion. And then eventually you'll start finding momentum in that passion. You'll start finding nuances in that passion. For me, myself, I dove deep into fitness, learning about fitness, researching, doing countless hours. And because of that research, because of that countless hours, I've been able to implement that knowledge, implement that passion, and create a fitness course and market that fitness course to potential clients. And not just because of that, I've also, because of going hard on Instagram and learning this particular skill set of social media, I was able to get an ambassadorship with Raw Nutrition, and now I have a discount code and sell out to also potential buyers. Excuse my lack of breath. That raw pre-workout's really been kicking in. If you want, use code AD10 at checkout, get you 10% off. So once you find your passion and you start building momentum and building small skill sets in that passion, for example, it could be customer service or marketing, then put your sole focus in that newfound skill set and build your foundation with that skill set. That's how you finally improve in life, with that foundation that you already implemented. So if you don't have any skill sets currently right now, find something that you're passionate about, something that you can devote countless hours into building. That's what I did. That's my best course of advice. Now, excuse me, I gotta finish my workout, so I'm gonna leave you there. If you found value in this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I upload 2 times per week, every Wednesday and every Sunday, so make sure to come back. And as always, it's been your boy, Coach Ed. See you later.